shaking their hearts every time that I jump.
It's Week 18 of the National Football League. And up next, we'll see Drake London. And with him, any catch could be a big one. He's the NFL leader in touchdown receptions. It's the Falcons and the Saints, and it's all up next.
From a city that has hosted 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. It's all about divisional matchups on this final day of the regular season, and we've got a compelling one in store here, as it'll be the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New Orleans Saints. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and yes, it's January 7th, but we haven't seen you since New Year's Eve, so we have to say Happy New Year, one and all. And partner, Happy New Year to you. This is it, the conclusion of the 2023 season. Hard to believe, but we got a good one here between division rivals. And you like what the NFL's done here, making Week 18 all-division games.
I think it's one of the more inspired moves by the league because they've made these matchups really count. And typically they mean something, not a lot of coasting as people head towards the playoffs. But I do have to ask, January 7th, is it too late to say it? We're kind of right on the borderline, aren't we, about Happy New Year? Because that always seems to be the subject of debate.
And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by one of the most productive QBs in the last decade. It's year 10 for the Fresno Stater now. Here's Derek Carr.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Carr now to throw. His throw incomplete. Traquan Smith, the intended receiver, but now it's third down. Now right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Throwing his Carr on third down. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Arnold Ebiketie drops him for a loss of 14 yards, and it also brings up fourth down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Here's Ethan Evans now. Cordero Patterson deep for Atlanta. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Fielded at the 43. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. So now you've got their offense coming out for the first time with great initial field position. And they'll be led out by a much-discussed third-rounder in last year's draft. The second-year pro out of Cincinnati, Desmond Ridder.
But when I reviewed last week's game and saw the 4 touchdown passes that he threw, I thought about you during the Turkey Bowl last year.
Yeah,
you guys
right.
had the same stats, except he got the NFC Offensive Player of the Week award with his.
He got touchdowns, I got picks. I like going back watching the film with you, and we thought it was a good performance in person, obviously was, but you thought even better on tape. It was really something to watch.
Yeah, but I love was how he spread it around. A lot of people involved in the passing offense. 4 touchdown passes culminated it.
And that is caught, and the record is his. It's a touchdown. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, second year in the NFL. I don't know if last year as a rookie if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that, so he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the second-year quarterback.
Koo able to connect on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. As we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some... And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, it's Carr. Oh, and that is incomplete.
Every offense tells you they want to come out and start fast. That's not unusual at all. But this group, they've yet to get much rolling through their first two drives. It looks like they're going to have to give up the football again after this one.
He'll take it at the 42. Wiggles free. So a good punt there, but a very strong 14-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. On first down, Ritter. Forced out to his left. This one complete to Scott Miller. Well, this defense for the Saints, they were terrific a week ago in that victory over Tampa Bay, Charles.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how different.
He's got a man. Complete. Touchdown. Scotty Miller with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Falcons are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimal level.
Extra point by Koo, up and good. And it's now 14-0. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. The New Orleans offense set to take over. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Now Carr. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
That's 3 sacks now. That's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Up the middle, it's Williams. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
On 3rd and long, it's Carr. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. Arnold Ebiketie. Now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. It'll be a 39-yard punt. Give him a good 10 yards on the return. And it will be Falcon football. Ritter looking to throw on 1st and 10. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now, Falcon football, as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Ready, set.
Looking to throw it here. Ritter. This to Pitts, and he's got him. Touchdown, Atlanta. Kyle Pitts, a 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Falcons have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Well, just a sensational start for this offense, Charles. 3 drives, 3 passing touchdowns.
Is that like mentioning a perfect game in baseball? Or are we cool to do it here in football, partner?
No, I think you can do it here in football. I think perfect game in baseball, that's its own category.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Could not imagine a worse start for that secondary, or let's face it, a better one for this offense. No chance they stop passing now the way that it's going. I think they'll continue to press the ball downfield and hopefully reap the same results.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
Out comes the Saints offensive unit and the NFC playoff race. Let's have a look at it. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
Grady Jarrett able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time. But, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
The Saints on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and a mile. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Grady Jarrett, 2 plays in a row now that he has gotten in there for the sack, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Here comes the Saints punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taken right around the 44. 44-yard punt, return of 9. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here.
And if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mention that to the coaches,
this is caught inside the 15. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 36 yards on the play. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown.
Mac Hollins,
an 11-yard touchdown.
And the Falcons continue to pull away here in this first half. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
Koo able to connect on the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left.
Williams going to get it again on second down.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. They run it again with Williams. And he will find his way forward to about the 23-yard line. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
Ethan Evans on now to punt.
Fielded at the 33.
A nice punt, but a good run back as well, 13 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. Atlanta regains possession of the football. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable.
It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Falcons.
Drake London.
55 yards.
And the Falcons open the lead up to 34-0. So this now 34-0 with the extra point pending. And Charles, I thought these guys might have the advantage coming in, but I didn't expect this.
Well, I'm glad we're going with full transparency here because I didn't either. I thought we might be looking at a 24-20 type game, maybe 13-10 at the half. But this has been total, utter domination.
Extra point by Koo, up and good. And that makes this 35-0 now.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. The New Orleans offense set to take over. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. On play action, it's Carr. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? It'll be a gain of 7, but I'd imagine we'll see the punt team here on 4th down. So we have reached halftime now with the visiting Falcons out on top. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. It's all down to this. Week 18 of the NFL regular season. Lots to be decided, so let's get right to it. We'll begin up at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. And the Panthers are out in front as they play the second quarter. Jonathan Mingo with a touchdown catch from Bryce Young. From there, it's off to Indianapolis to check on the Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium. And this one going the visitors' way as the Texans have the lead in that one. A touchdown pass there for C.J. Stroud. Lastly, let's head to Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati to see what's happening with the Bengals. And that one all tied. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Falcons offense ready to get going to begin this third quarter. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things? That's what we're staring at right now, the way this one is going.
First down, here's Ritter. Going up top for Miller. And it's knocked away and incomplete. So, CD, here we are. You look at how well this offense has played all year, 16-0. Now, in most years, they'd be at home right now enjoying time off for their perfect season, getting ready for the postseason. But this is the decade of the 2020s, so that means 17 games are what's needed to get through a perfect season. Would a win here make them an all-timer for you?
It would. It absolutely would. And I realize we're not comparing apples to apples because of the length of regular seasons. But if you think back to the 1972 Dolphins, they were 14-0 in the regular season, 3 wins.
That's caught inside the 20. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes...
Touchdown, Falcons! Mac Hollins, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Falcons take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. And the touchdown all set up by the big play 1 snap before, but they finish it off here with a shorter completion, this time for the score.
I like how they stuck with what got them there, right? The big pass play. Got the momentum going, right? You create it with a play like that, and you come right back with another pass play to finalize things off.
Koo able to connect on the extra point, and it is 42-0. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. On first down, Carr. Finding Taysom Hill complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Carr. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Arnold Ebiketie getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon. On 2nd down, Williams. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Throwing now is Carr. Pressure comes, and down he goes. Calais Campbell in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. Here comes the Saints punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Fielded just inside the 20. So a solid punt, but also a nice return there of 14 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Atlanta prepped and readied for its next possession. For this offense, Charles, remember the last time they were out here, marched it nearly the full length of the football field, and a lot of the attack went through the air, so now they're seeing if they can duplicate that performance.
Okay, if I show my age a little bit, partner, because I can hear my high school.
Cordero Patterson. Cordero Patterson. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 66 yards for him on the ground. Another good carry there for the NFL's 2nd leading rusher, and we've talked on air, off air about his MVP candidacy. Make a case for him.
Well, I'm just going to...
And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Cordero Patterson, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Falcons will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the third. So the watch is officially on now. That ties him with Priest Holmes and Sean Alexander for second place all-time on the single-season list of rushing touchdowns.
And, partner, he now just sits one behind LaDainian Tomlinson's record of 28. We know LT's watching. We know he'd hate to lose his record, but we also understand he has great admiration for what this man's done, and he would be a worthy successor to the crown. LaDainian Tomlinson, one of the great players, one of the great people of the NFL.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25.
The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
From the gun now on third down, Carr. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to fourth. Before they can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the third quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. So from their own end zone here, this kicks away. And he'll take it on this side of midfield.
A nice run back there off the good punt. It's a 16-yard return.
And out will come the offense as they take over.
Bring out the Falcons offense once more. Cordero Patterson ready to go again at running back.
He's toppled the century mark already receiving the football, closing in on that on the ground, too. They've really had trouble handling him.
I think from what we've seen in this game, his success through the air has started to open things up for him on the ground because now he's loosened up the defense, right? They've got to play just about every snap as if another receiver can get downfield on them, and he's been that receiver. Now they bring him back to the backfield. I think his yardage running the ball will increase as this one goes on.
Well, they might need to devote some extra attention to him, something just to stop the momentum he has.
First and 10, it's Patterson.
He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defender.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Cordero Patterson with career touchdown number 70.
And the Falcons look poised to reach 17-0 as they add on to their lead. So we have a tie now atop the all-time single-season rushing touchdown list. LaDainian Tomlinson, you've just been joined by this man.
And they share similar traits in running the football. Excellent vision, cutting ability, determination, will. They understand where the end zone is and will not be deterred.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Now the Saints coming back out ready to go for this next drive. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Here's Kamara off the draw. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. Now a play fake. Carr.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Richie Grant.
And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on 1st down. Straight ahead, Patterson.
And he'll get it down on the play to the 37.
114 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches. Again, Patterson.
And he gets it down to the 32. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back from the 32 now. Here's 1st and 10.
Patterson, he'll try it up the middle.
Able to push his way through. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a 1st down for the Falcons. Patterson running between the tackles. Even with that broken tackle, he'll be brought down short of the 15. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Here's a give to Patterson.
This carry, despite the extra effort, will be stopped short of the 10. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the 1st here. They'll run with Patterson.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
So the moment is finally at hand. What a season, CD. His 29th rushing touchdown of the year. No one in the history of the NFL has had more in a single season. And congratulations to him. What an achievement.
We certainly had the feeling early in the year, maybe week 2 or 3, where we talked to each other and thought this could really turn into something. But I don't know if either of us thought we'd get to this point. Maybe the best season ever by a running back in NFL history.
And now the Saints get set to trot out there.
We're facing a big 4th quarter deficit here. Things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season. But in this one, well, their defense has really struggled.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards on the play. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Play action. Now it's Carr. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived,
into a sea of defenders and intercepted.
Trey Flowers picks him, and he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line.
Well, this game was already decided, Charles, let's be honest, but now another feather in the cap of this defense as they pick him off for the 2nd time.
You're right about that. Things have been going pretty well for them, to put it mildly, but they're still out there hunting for big plays and get another one right there.
For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the stuff that we saw happen today. Those are statistics, numbers, the whole deal. But my question is, how does one team come ready to play, and the other one, obviously, not ready at all?
Well, I mean, I obviously don't have an answer to that, but that was the story from the get-go. One side was awake and ready, and the other just seemed to sleep.
So for the Falcons,
they finish off a perfect regular season, 17-0.
And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title.
Meanwhile, for the Saints, they go out with a bit of a whimper as they wrap up a very trying 4-13 campaign. And this front office will have plenty of work to do in the draft and through free agency to turn this ship around. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.
Run it back. Yeah. Run it back. 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 Lost everything I ever wanted.